Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking those incredibly dry, complex administrative rules and turning them into your ultimate playbook for fighting bureaucratic delays in India. We're going to dive right into the modern, digital architecture of accountability, the exact system that gives every single citizen a real voice.
So look, have you ever been stuck waiting literally months for a delayed pension? Or maybe dealing with a faulty ration card, or even just a broken streetlight in your neighborhood, and you just felt completely ignored by the system? It's beyond frustrating, right? I mean, it's kind of this universal experience for anyone dealing with huge bureaucracies. But here's the thing, it actually doesn't have to be this way anymore.
Let's quickly look at our roadmap for today. 1. Decoding India's grievance system. 2. Your legal rights explained. 3. CPGRAMS and state portals. 4. Step-by-step complaint guide. 5. The AI tech revolution. And finally, 6. Pro tips for citizens. All right, let's jump in.
Section 1. Decoding India's grievance system.
So let's unmask what this framework actually is. The Public Grievance Redressal System, also known as Shikayat Nivaran, is basically a massive digital bridge. Think of it as a total replacement for those dusty, old, and, let's be honest, usually ignored physical complaint boxes from the past. When a government department drops the ball for any of India's 1.4 billion citizens, this trackable digital channel pulls you out of those endless physical queues and puts all the power right there on your screen. You can seek accountability and get actual solutions without ever stepping foot in a courtroom.
Section 2. Your legal rights explained. Because, you know, a digital portal without any legal teeth is really just a fancy suggestion box.
The really cool thing here is that your complaints are backed by some serious legal steel. This whole framework of Jawabdehi, or accountability, is actually rooted right there in Article 19 of the Constitution. It heavily relies on the RTI Act of 2005 to essentially force transparency. It utilizes the Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act of 2013 to target high-level corruption, and, crucially, it leans on the Right to Services Act enacted by various states to enforce mandatory, absolutely non-negotiable deadlines.
Moving on to Section 3, CPGRAMS and state portals. Okay, we know our rights, but where do we actually go online to use them?
You essentially have two main avenues here, and knowing which door to knock on is literally half the battle. You're going to use the National CPGMS portal for central ministries, so think income tax, passports, or railways, the big national stuff. But you'll head over to your specific state's portal, like Jan Sunwai in UP or Aple Sarkar in Maharashtra for local on-the-ground issues, stuff like municipal, police, or local land disputes.
Now, if you are helping a grandparent or you happen to belong to a vulnerable group, the system actually fast-tracks you. It's really neat. Senior citizens can use the Elder Line at 14567. Pensioners have their own dedicated portal called CPGRAMS. Consumers dealing with market disputes can jump onto Ingram or call 1915. And women facing workplace harassment can directly utilize the She-Box. All of these specialized channels basically let you bypass the general queue to get immediate attention.
Section 4. Step-by-step complaint guide. This is for sure the most actionable part of our explainer today.
So how do you file a complaint that actually gets noticed and resolved? It's a pretty logical journey. First, register on pgportal.gov.in using your mobile or Aadhaar. Second, target the right department. And hey, don't worry if you're not sure which one. There's an AI suggestion tool that helps you out. Third, write a clear, highly specific complaint. Don't be vague here. Fourth, attach your supporting evidence like receipts or photos. Fifth, actively track your unique registration number. And finally, number 6, never ever hesitate to file an appeal if they just hit you with a superficial copy-paste response.
And the absolutely crucial point here is the strict timeline. Central ministries generally have a maximum of 30 days to resolve your issue. 30 days! If they miss that deadline, the system automatically escalates your complaint to senior officers, so you aren't just left waiting in the dark forever crossing your fingers.
Section 5. The AI Tech Revolution.
Now you might be sitting there wondering, how on earth does the government manage millions of these complaints without just completely collapsing under a mountain of paperwork? Well, the answer is a massive tech upgrade. By ditching those ancient paper files for integrated digital platforms, major central ministries have slashed their average resolution times by an incredible 60% over the last decade. I mean, that's more than half the wait time just gone. It's a total game changer for bureaucratic efficiency.
By 2026, AI is really doing the heavy lifting here. It auto-routes your tickets so they don't bounce around between the wrong offices. Machine learning is actually stepping in to prioritize massive backlogs. But honestly, the most impressive part? The grievance analysis dashboard. It clusters similar complaints together to find the root cause of systemic policy failures. So they're fixing the actual policy, not just putting a Band-Aid on the symptom. Plus, they are rolling out AI-assisted translation for all 22 scheduled languages, ensuring that regional language barriers are finally being broken down.
Section 6. Pro Tips for Citizens. We've covered how the system works, but let's talk about how to play it like a total crow.
All right, grab a notepad because these tips are pure gold. First, be absolutely relentless with specific names, dates, and receipts. Always attach proof. Second, track your complaint weekly. It shows them you're paying attention and keeps you from getting deprioritized. Hit a dead end? Actually, scratch that. When you hit a dead end, use your 30-day appeal window immediately. Never accept an unresolved closure. Want to add some extra pressure? File a parallel RTI request asking for the internal communications about your complaint. Trust me, nothing moves a file faster than the threat of disclosure. And finally, standard grievance portals are not for corruption. If someone demands a bribe, escalate that straight to the Lokayuta watchdog.
क्या आप जवाबदेही मांगेंगे? Will you demand accountability today? As we've seen, the digital tools for transparency are quite literally right at your fingertips. This has evolved from simple portals into a full-blown AI-powered engine of governance. The infrastructure is sitting right there waiting. So the only question left for you is, will you step up, use these tools, and demand accountability today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.